just went on my first at least 20 mile bike ride. A little more than that. My first one in, God, as long as I can remember. And I'm already sore. And I thought of so many ideas. And then I get in front of the camera and it's like I'm in a stupor. Just like tired, like ready for a nap. And a little microdosing for the first time in a long time, which is causing me to remember the felt presence of the coincidentia positorum, the union of opposites. It's a really cool word or term, coincidentia positorum. I heard it from Terrence McKenna first, and I was like, it's words like that expand awareness, because if there wasn't a word for that, would you think about it, So as I was struggling with my demons and the negative synchronicities in my life, observing them from different angles than I normally am able to. But it's not just that, it's observing by feeling. One analogy could be like if you can't see and you use your hand to feel someone's face. It's a bit like that. And that was something just because I ran over a cup. Looks like yeah, I feel like I'm kind of stuck in this war that I don't want to be in, and the war is over this space that I want to move through. It's not so much the world, I'm realizing, because the world is just what it is. And I want to be able to move through that in a space, in a way, in a disposition that I'm okay with. And that's been my whole existential angst feels like an understatement. My whole emotional crisis, I'll say that, is I am not in the felt presence that I want to be, nor have I for a long time, even in my childhood. And I've always done my best to be honest with myself, because why would I want it? It's like, why would I ruin my life? I would never want that. I want to succeed. I want to be the best possible version of who I am. And there's definitely this invisible hand that seems to be like testing us under these different circumstances in these really specific dynamics. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be tested in this. Like, I don't even, like, this isn't even a test that I'm willing to take. It's like, let me be free of your test, but I feel like I'm, like, subjected to it. And some people would argue that, before this life, maybe even, like, I did consent to it in this consensus reality. That's also, people have described it as this is the agreed upon reality. And agreed upon reality. Now here we go, because yes, But there are discrepancies that, if discovered, may seem accidental, but is the path by which the poison and the scam takes place. They're spiritual leeches. They get us in this certain state, or we get in a certain state, however it comes about, and then there's like these demons that like latch onto people, and I've also experienced it, like the depression. Like they'll just try to keep you there, and you basically have to do like the opposite of what you feel or want. That's why I went on this bike ride. I'm like, I felt so lethargic today, and I had the day off work, and I had a good day yesterday, but I just felt like all my existential angst always comes back every day, every morning. And it's almost like the more I process it, it's almost like I'm perpetuating it, like amplifying it. Which, God, talk about an anathema, a frustration beyond, that's why in this reality, it's like we get to all experience being violated. And what a vile term or word, but it doesn't have to be sexual, but it's as deep on an emotional level as our sexual parts of us. And that's why it's so fucking offensive. That's why we totally lose our shit, you know? And like, no one wants to be that way. That's a travesty to like who you are. Like, to just, it's like, don't give a fuck until you're just a trash. It's like human. Like, to have care, to have honor, to have reverence is a beautiful thing in the felt presence of that. It's like staying in a sense of wonder, and a lot of people don't. They get caught up in these things. I'm speaking from experience, and I'm like, it's like I'll get my head above water, like just enough, like kind of grapple with what's going on and what truly is me and what's not, and then it's like I get pulled back down again, like against my will. I'm like, I don't want to just keep having this struggle, and I don't want to learn through trial and error. Like, I want adequate mentorship, and if there's not that, at least like stability, like internal stability. I don't want to know, like, be known if I have any success for being like just a professional neurotic, which is kind of what I've been on my channel so far. You know, that's not the real me, you guys. It's not me. In my best moments, you know, I've been described as a very bright person. I'm a very warm, loving being to be around. And so being in this state is very antithetical to me, and it was like, you know, to be this offended. Doesn't matter what it is. Like, no one needs to feel that, like, offended. It's like feeling jealous about, it's like something there's no reason to feel jealousy about, or insecurity. Like, it's like there's no reason to just have that fucking drug like influencing us, and we get subjected to these things. Even people that don't take drugs, we're all under the influence of not only society, but our own like addictions and myopic ideologies and all the stuff that's been regurgitated, and that's the consensus consciousness. That's like the agreed upon reality, if you will, which it's more of an illusion of an agreed upon reality. It's like, oh yeah, there's poor people and rich people, and this is probably the view I would take if I grew up in a rich like a wealthy family and stuff that was stable, I wouldn't know the depths of like just how horrible it could be, unless it's like you have mental illness or family strife or whatever it is. But I'm just talking about as far as viewing society. It'd be easy as a wealthy person to view society as like, oh, it's just the way it is in this world. It's like the rich people and the poor people, and it's like it's all good. But it's like with the poor people, it's not all good. It's like some people have found contentment in that, and God bless them. God bless them. But a lot of people are miserable and suffering, and like, how can you go a whole life just turning a blind eye to that? I would hope if I grew up in that kind of thing that I wouldn't, but just saying, it's all hypothetical. Anything's possible, and that means bad things as well. Even though I've described it this way, is that yes, we are in a hell realm of sorts, but we have this special gift of bringing heaven into hell. Like, we birth heaven here. Oh, I remember another thought I had while I was on my skate. This is a really hot take. I was gonna write it down, and then I decided not to, because I was like, I don't need to actually do a video on that, because it's like just a little outrageous, and I don't even know how much I agree with it. But because of the way this realm is, and this may actually, it could seem courageous and cowardly. It could be both, in different ways for different reasons. But I would almost vouch that this world, we should not be copulating. We should not be keeping this thing going, which is very hard, because the drugs of our natural state, like, it'd be like denouncing our sexuality. It'd be like, it's like, because that's such a treasure to have a family and have kids. That's an experience, I don't think I'm ever gonna have here, because of my choice to get a vasectomy. Because that was my thought, is I'm like, what happened to me, even though I know I could be a better parent, because I know a lot of things not to do through experience, but I'm like, this world, it's inevitable. Like, and I was like, unless I have like a house or like $100,000 or something at least, like, I can't have a kid and like to give them the life that I would really want to give them, or have for myself, in other words. Because isn't that what all parents want to do, is be able to give our child more of a life than what we had? That's like one way we evolve. And so, yeah, we're bringing heaven on earth, but I guess, like, in my darker days, I'm like, we shouldn't keep doing this. We shouldn't keep spawning people into this. Like, yeah, maybe it is progressing and getting better, but it seems like inevitable. Like, it's almost set up to have that illusion to just keep this whole human enterprise, this specific one. I think there's other worlds that have this technology but are actually advanced and maxed out, climaxed ecosystems, like thriving. Like, it's like we can't imagine, like, everyone here is like, oh, that sounds boring, and it's like, no. It's like when you're more intelligent, have more of the spectrum, there's so many more things to do. Even your life of 200 years old, you're like, dang, I still didn't do all the things I wanted to do, and it goes by really fast when you're having a good time. So I always get like triggered when someone's like, oh, that sounds boring. It's like, oh my god, you need to have an imagination. Like, come on. Like, no wonder, like, we just keep perpetuating the same problems, or like new problems, like with the illusion that we're making it better. I know it's really negative of me, but there's some truth there. I'm just pontificating. And I do respect those and honor those who are being wonderful parents, and like that's their role in life, and like they're loving it. See, I've always wanted that because it just seems like such a treasure. It's like your life becomes about them and not like just about me. That's why I really want a cat, or I really want a partner, because I want someone else to love and care for and stuff, you know? Like, a lot of women are able to be content having a dog, and then I feel like it's easier to get a partner if you're a woman than a guy. Which is, you know, that could be an outrageous thing to say, but let's just say the guys are more willing. Guys are like dogs. Or the good ones, at least. I know I can be. I can be loyal. I can love you with all my heart. But I can bark and be mean too. And, like, not at you, but, like, you know, it's part of the masculine energy. It's just like, if you had testosterone, you would do it too. It's like just a causality, you know. Even though, you know, you want to keep it in check and be balanced, I've always made it my intention to be balanced in between my masculine and feminine energy, because I see the beauty in both. And often society plays quite a negative role in all that, because it all just gets reduced down to, like, I don't know, gender roles and all that stuff. It's like, you know, switch up the roles. You can have the roles be anything you want, as far as who does them, as long as it's a copacetic partnership, you know, where it's like you have good synergy between your roles. Between your roles. What a world, huh? I'll tell you, getting out in nature, doing a good ride like that, there's a repose in the serenity of plant life. I guess that's why I'm a farmer, because I love it so much. Anyway, if you made it this far, wow. I applaud you for sticking around for all of my whole drive home.